Welcome back. This week marked the one-year anniversary of the mass shooting at the Covenant School that claimed 6 lives. 3 of those were children. 6 families have spent the last year with an empty seat at the table.
.30 and the weather's nice and quiet across Middle Tennessee.
It was a day like any other. Nashville, Tennessee moved and pulsed, settling into spring, something like hope on the horizon. Until 10:11 a.m. Multiple shots shattered the glass doors of the Covenant School in Green Hills. At the other end of the rifle, a former student whose motive is still unknown. By 10:27, a team of Metro police officers would neutralize the threat. As news broke, the city stood still.
We are coming to air just a few moments early here on News 211 with breaking news from the Green Hills area where there has been an active shooting situation that's happened at a church school there.
6 innocent people were dead, 3 of them just children, forever 9 years old.
They're babies and they didn't get to grow up, and it breaks my heart.
The repercussions of those 14 minutes inside the Covenant School were wide-ranging. Families torn apart, children traumatized, and a community galvanized. Days of protests followed, Tennesseans standing together, demanding change.
I didn't have one person ask me for thoughts and prayers today. They asked me for courage to come down here and do something.
Change that would not come.
As far as Tennessee doing something to limit guns, we're not going to do that.
365 days later, Tennessee's gun laws are more lax than ever.
Our state has done nothing to make you safer or to prevent this from happening again and again and again and again.
But Tennesseans remain determined, calling on state leaders to make sure what happened on March 27, 2023 doesn't happen again.
The Covenant School shooting rocked Nashville, and it broke all of our hearts. We lost people that we love dearly.
Tonight, inside the Woodmont Baptist Church, a shaken community put their arms around each other and stood a little taller, the church holding a vigil to honor the victims of the Covenant shooting. What was the reunification site for terrified families a year ago was tonight a place of comfort once again. And for one family...
This is a poem by Evelyn Marie Dickhouse, and it's called I Am.
It was a place to heal and share a piece of their little girl and her big personality.
She has in parentheses when to pause. And she also has at the end, wait for applause. I wonder about the tree outside. I wonder if it feels like me. I wonder if it's still growing like me. I wonder if God put it there to show his creation. Pause. Like me. I wonder. I am Evelyn. I believe I am God's creation, like the tree.
A tree whose impact still grows strong.
To mark the one-year anniversary, Tennesseans linked arms, lining the street leading to the state capitol, just as they did last year. And their hope remains the same, that lawmakers will listen and something will change.
The song echoing through the line, where one by one, the number grew, resulting in thousands, small and tall, all hanging on to a glimmer of hope.
It's time for change.
That change will come.
I remember the day very clearly. It was Monday, I was on spring break, and I saw the news reports come in, and it's disheartening, and it's just sad.
All linked together in more ways than one.
I just want them to know that the city has its arms wrapped around them, and I thought that today, as we come together as a city to recognize this anniversary, walking with the Vice Mayor, with the Metro Council, was an important way to show that the city is unified here.
Adorned in red in honor of the 6 Covenant children and educators whose lives were taken, but not forgotten.
The Covenant tragedy. Several of us just thought, okay, we have been silent long enough, and it was the impetus to get us to act.
In the years since the devastating Covenant shooting, support for stricter gun laws in Tennessee came in an outpouring, but nothing much has changed.
In many cases, we know a lot of the answers, and we just got to find the willingness to chase those.
But today was about standing in solidarity, waiting for answers to come.
We are in this for the long haul, and we know that it is going to take time to get our state on the right trajectory, and we are hopeful that incremental change is going to get us there.
1 year since that dark day, those here remember above all else, we are still Nashville strong.
We'll get through this. Quite literally, Nashville is connected, and we are one, and we stand in solidarity with Covenant and those affected by the shooting.
Maya Owens, News 2.
In the year since the Covenant shooting, lawmakers met in special session and regular session and have yet to even discuss common sense gun reform.
In the year since the devastating Covenant shooting, numerous polls have shown support for stricter gun laws in Tennessee. But nothing has happened, as Tennessee's Republican supermajority has blocked any legislation even hinting toward a change.
It's not just a policy fight, but it's an existential fight that goes deeper than gun reform.
Some Republicans question the accuracy of polls. The wording of questions, the field of respondents, the person or company running the poll, every detail can influence the answers.
The vast majority of my constituents do not support a red flag or an order of protection law. And so if you just simply look at the makeup of the body, I don't need a poll to tell me, and I don't make decisions based on polls anyway, but you look at the makeup of the body, and the vast majority of the constituents of my Republican colleagues are telling them the same thing.
Democrats have somewhat hopelessly urged their colleagues on the other side of the aisle to at least think about changes.
I'm a gun owner, and other gun owners agree with me. There are things that we can do to encourage responsible gun ownership.
But Republicans have pushed that even the slightest form of gun control will eventually lead to a mass ban of all firearms.
Moderate gun reform measures are seen as Trojan horses, that they can open up the floodgates for larger reform.
And finally, this year is a presidential election year, meaning voter turnout will be significantly higher all the way down the ballot, including state house races.
Many Republicans are wary about pushing for gun reform, even moderate reform, because they may feel they may be primaried.
In today's polarized political landscape, lobbyists realize they can influence many of the state's laws with the threat of donations to defeat lawmakers who don't give them what they want.
There have been more than 350 shootings at K-12 schools in the U.S. since the Covenant School shooting a year ago.
When the unthinkable happens, it's hard to find the words. But the sights and sounds that day say enough. Since this day on March 27, 2023, there have been more than 350 other shootings at K-12 schools in the U.S., according to the K-12 school shooting database. One of those was a planned attack like Covenant, happening at Perry High School in Iowa in the beginning of 2024. None have been as deadly since the tragic day at the Covenant School.
What this data shows is that shootings like the Covenant School, where there's somebody going to the school with the intent to kill as many people as possible, are actually very rare. What's very common is almost every day there's a shooting at a school that's an escalation of a dispute, and it turns into a shooting because there's a teenager that's armed.
David Reedman, founder of the K-12 school shooting database, tracks every time a gun was brandished, fired, or a bullet hits K-12 school property since 1966. After more than 2,700 shootings, he's noticed a trend and 2 ways many of them could have been prevented.
If somebody is voicing intent to harm themselves or others and people are worried about them, we need to make sure that somebody can't access a weapon. if there are teenagers or other kids that are around your house, you need to make sure that the guns are locked in your house so that they're not taken or stolen and then used during a fight at a school.
Hoping to better inform people through the data, so days like this, while rare, never happen again.
Stay with us. This week continues in a moment.